race car spelled backwards is still race car. Welcome to the Race Car Spelled Backwards podcast. All right, good afternoon and welcome to episode 5 of the Race Car Spelled Backwards podcast. My name is Brad and with me is my co-host Jamie, and this week we are going to cover Auto Club Speedway and the race that in Fontana, and we will also discuss the upcoming race in Las Vegas.
Did you bring your statisticals, Brad?
Brother, you know I did not leave home without my statisticals today.
Oh, he's hanging low with the statisticals.
Keep my happy sack happy.
Man, clean that meat straw, man.
That's right. It looked like a meat straw this weekend, though. Just before they even got to the race, we had nothing but issues. I mean, I think I saw where there was penalties issued pre-race.
What were they?
So you had Kevin Harvick failed pre-race inspection 3 times. So that meant his car chief, I think it was his car chief or was ejected. No, it was his car chief was ejected from the race, and he did not get to qualify, and he had to do it. So he started the race basically a lap down. And then you had 6 drivers who their car chief ejected just for failing twice. So,
Didn't Busch all screw up too, and he had to do a pass through the pit road?
Is that what I said? That's what I meant, Busch. I have, even on my notes, I screwed this one up. So I wrote with the number 4.
Harvick got in trouble too, though, didn't
he? Yeah, Harvick. So Harvick failed twice. Busch failed 3 times. That's Kurt Busch failed 3 times. I'll correct myself. Even reading my statisticals, I got it wrong. Wow, what a Monday.
See, I read that Harvick, when he went to inspection, did not show his AARP membership card.
I'm telling you, man.
So they failed him.
Harvick is he's not having a great start to any of these races. Now, I think he finished 7th yesterday and started 32nd probably, something like that. So finishing 7th's not bad, but that's probably attrition what got him to 7th.
Well, I mean, Stewart-Haas didn't do good last year either. Wasn't Almirola the only winner?
Yeah, I believe he was. I'm not mistaken.
Are they not in cahoots with RFK and Penske this year?
Well, that's what I was going to say, because you got RFK. If they could finish a race, they would be doing good. Brad somehow ends up in a wreck every weekend. Maybe or maybe not being his fault. I'm not going to pretend I know what's going on between him and his spotter TJ, but looks like they're always in something. But the Penske boys are winning. Austin Cindric on the pole wins the 500. So
he led some laps yesterday.
Yeah, he did. And so did Blaney. Ran in the top 10 all day. I don't remember where he ended up at. Do you know? Or do you remember?
What was he, 12th?
Let's see. Let me check my statistical.
Yeah, you got those statistical sheets, man, all shaved and clean.
Yeah, he finished 18th. So I don't remember. Most of them got backed up on that last restart somehow. I didn't even have to go back and watch to see exactly what happened to old Blaney.
Well, they all had to get a spoon and spoon out that deuce they dropped when he saw what Larson did to his teammate. They're like, "Holy shit!"
Yeah, it scared them off. Wait, did you watch practice and qualifying?
I did not.
So I flipped it over. As soon as I turned it on, Kevin Harvick was going head first in the wall. So I knew it was going to be an interesting qualifying and practice session. I think you had Bubba Wallace. He hit the wall. repair his car. Harvick hit the wall. They repaired his car. Yeah, Busher spun out. Christopher Bell, Keselowski, Chase Elliott, they all spun out and didn't hit anything. And then you had Ross Chastain spun out, and he nailed the wall. Like, it's to the point where they ended up having to put him in a backup car. His car was so destroyed.
Well, they still were having some problems. Those things were going airborne. Just kind of, what they call it, the little tar grooves.
Oh, that was really messing them up. Those seams. And I believe,
Yeah.
so here's my opinion. You have two things, really three things contributed to the qualifying and practice wrecks. I think you had drivers who are still learning these cars. They're learning exactly how far they can push these cars, and they're pushing them to the limit. And that's causing them to spin out. Now, I'm okay with that. If you're going to spin out, you're much better off spinning out during practice or qualifying versus race. So they're going out during practice, finding out how far they can push these cars, and they're pushing them as hard as they can push them. If you don't hit the wall, great, learn something. But if you hit the wall, I guess that's the risk you're taking to figure out where that limit is.
Do you think having the turns not as steep as they are in Daytona, it was a whole new learning experience for him too? Different kind of track, still super speedway, but
Yeah, I definitely think that. I also think the tires played a factor into this race. Everybody knew tire fall off was going to be high going into the race, but I don't think they expected it to be as high as it actually was. I'm I don't have a whole lot of confidence in these tires as it is, the tires and the wheels, but going into
did
this
you?
race,
Who
everybody
was it? Was
expected
it Bowman's tool got stripped out? Was it Bowman?
this tool race.
Yeah, his meat straw, his tire changing tool, his air gun.
Oh no,
I
I didn't
saw Chad Canals over there staring at it.
during practice.
No, during the race,
No, I didn't see that.
they stripped
Doesn't
out
surprise me.
the giant lug or whatever you want to call it.
Well, you get to beating on that thing so hard, it's liable to strip it right out.
You think they can get Goodyear to design an inner liner? I know it's a low profile tire.
I think they need run flats.
Well, yeah.
I don't know. I remember the whole inner liner issue. Inner liners came to be because of the cars were blowing tires at 190 miles an hour, hitting the wall. It was dangerous for the competitors, the fans, everybody involved.
Wow, that sounds like Daytona and Fontana.
Exactly. So they put this inner liner in the tire. So if your tire blows, you can not die, I guess would be one way to put it. But the new tires are so low profile, like you said, there's nowhere to put an inner liner. I don't know how you fix that because I can tell you right now, you used to blow a tire, you could hobble around. To me, that was fun. I enjoyed watching a guy blow a tire and hobble around to get back to pit road without destroying the car. There you got your spotter in your ear telling you, you know,
Yeah.
leaders in turn two. You got to get back and get this tire changed before the leader gets to you. Leaders on the back straightaway. You're sitting here make it without blowing the tire out, ripping the whole fender well out. That was interesting. Now they blow a tire, they're dead stop back. You go 2 or 3 laps down, waiting on Jimmy to get out there with his truck so he can tow you back. It's like a feasible solution for that problem. So NASCAR is going to have to put their thinking caps on and come up with something here because apparently what they're doing is obviously not working.
Well, they got that lab in Charlotte. Maybe they got their mad scientists. Maybe they can figure it out. Get a hold of Goodyear. This isn't. I mean, Goodyear's not looking good either.
No, it's a bad look on everybody. I mean, I think they need to do something with the rim. Personally, I don't know how you
Those
make
are
that.
made by BBS in Germany. You don't hear that. And I had to go deep dive one day and find that out. You don't hear that on the race. Mike Joy
Well,
doesn't mention it.
maybe he doesn't like the Germans. Maybe.
Well, the Russians are the ones trying to take over the world right now. Maybe he should have a problem with them.
I'm sure Mike Joy does. Did you see
I'm
Mike
willing to
Joy's?
send one of my guns to the Ukraine.
Did you see Mike Joy's rant on Twitter last week about everybody Fox broadcast?
Yeah, he kind of lost his shit there, didn't he?
I mean, it was. I feel bad. I don't know. I don't really feel bad.
It's not his fault they got to.
Well, the guy he kind of gave that guy a lot of crap on Twitter and really out of character for Mike Joy. He usually doesn't lash out like that. I think I've only seen him lash out one other time, and I think actually towards the door bumper clear guys. He got a little pissed at them, but him getting mad at a fan and just dragging him through the coals is not something I'm used to seeing somebody like Mike Joy do. But even people like Mike Joy, they got a limit. As soon as you push that button, it sets them off.
Well, he kind of apologized at the end of his rant, the little Twitter battle.
Oh, that's a fact. He needed to.
He
It made
said,
him look bad.
I mean, it wasn't. It was a vague apology. It wasn't like, "Oh, I'm sorry." He said, I'm not acting mature here, or I'm not acting my age." I think it's a paraphrase, but close to what he said.
Well, for the most part, the race was pretty eventful. At lap 16, you had Kyle Busch spin, he didn't hit anything, but it looked like that was just kind of the beginning of the end for him. His day really never bounced back after that. It went home with a 14th place finish. I think at one time he was a couple laps down, and he slowly worked his way getting on to finish 14th. But I think if you asked him what kind of day he had, he would probably have a few four-letter words used to explain it.
Well, if we ever had any criminal activity, I would want him to be our wheelman.
No doubt.
He might cuss us, but he'll get us there.
Yeah, he wasn't happy. Every time I overheard him on his radio, you could tell he was just having a nothing was going right for him. But it wasn't just him. I mean, even Chase Elliott, he was leading early, looked strong during that first stage.
Well, he's about to take the lead.
Well, he was leading.
Oh, I mean at the end.
Oh, I was talking about the beginning when he hit the wall.
He did hit. He wrecked a lot, man. He kept coming back.
Well, he wrecked during stage one. He hit the wall, spun out, wrecked, and then came back towards. He said, we had quite a few penalties. We had 10, not penalties, cautions. We had 10 total cautions for wrecks and 2 for the stage end. Did you see Reddick when he was in that high line too? When he got a flat tire and hit the wall, out of nowhere, runs right into the side of him. Now,
that was that was a Larry bomb there.
Oh, that was straight up. He got LB'd there.
Did I say Larry bomb?
Loser bomb.
Loser bomb. God dang. It was Larry.
LB.
I know.
Name, man. My pet squirrel outside who's too fat to do anything, so he just sits there and waits on the feeder to come on.
We got a cat that's red, and my cousin Larry Man has red hair, so our cat's name's Larry. So she jumped up on the table to see what Ripken was barking at.
Crazy cat, then.
It was just a slip because I don't like that cat, Larry. I'm not a cat person.
Me neither. I like my squirrel. That's why I keep feeding him. He just doesn't leave. I tell you who really likes my squirrels, that hawk. The hawk flies around staring at him every day.
Just waiting for you. Hey, I got something for you, though. Here. Ready?
What you got?
This is for you, and we can discuss it afterwards. Now, anyone that has sensitive hearing, they need to plug their ears right now, or if you're under the age of 18. Here we go. Get ready. 1, 2, 3.
Stupid motherfucker! He's a fucking idiot. Fucking broke again. He's a shit motherfucker. God damn it!
Did you hear that?
Was that Kyle Busch?
No, that was Chase. When Larson
Yeah.
cut him off. That's his radio feed. Boy, he was pissed.
So I watched, I can rewatch that a few times today. I am a Chase Elliott fan. I do believe Larson didn't know he was there. And only reason it's because Tyler, his spotter, they interviewed him on Dialed In on XM radio. And he said he was trying to tell him outside, but by the time he said outside, it was too late. So, but that goes back to what they said about these cars. The runs that the guy hitting is so fast, you can't block it anymore. But they've been blocking for so many years, it's going to take a while.
I've got a different opinion.
So what do you think happened?
They got a camera on their dashboard that shows them what's behind them. And they got a mirror.
He's 2 inches off Joey Logano on the inside.
He was sidetracked him, and then he wanted to get up near the wall for the turn. And Chase had so much momentum going, he saw him in the camera, and I'm putting words in his mouth. He saw him in his reverse camera and said, oh, crap, I got to stop him too. Right after he got that speed he didn't get the speed he needed to, keep up. He saw he was going to go 3 wide, and he fenced him, man.
Well, Chase was pissed because a few laps, whenever Larson would come up on Chase Elliott to put him a lap down, Larson went high, Chase went high. Larson had to go to get under Chase, which caused him to lose his line going into the corner. Chase knew what he was doing. Chase was letting him know, hey, I'm pissed. Oh, I'm pissed off. Here we go. So I have no problem with any of it, honestly. I hate that it is Chase Elliott screwed up in the beginning, hit the wall, spun out, worked all day to get back. There with 15. Chase Elliott is running in the top 5, going for the lead, and he had a fast car. I'm not saying he was faster than Larson, but he did have a car that could contend, and I think it would have came down to him and Larson at the very end if Larson wouldn't have put him in the wall. But
I think
that's Larson's new thing. He either turns right or turns left to run into you. He did it at the Clash to Justin Haley, and he did Fontana to Chase Elliott, his own teammate.
I think Chase got a little bit of revenge. I think, and he denies it, but I think that next caution was on purpose.
So Chase claims that the toe link broke for the second time during the race. So I sent you that picture of what a toe link is earlier.
I think he learned what that part was the first time it had to be replaced, and that was his excuse. And I'm all for Chase doing that.
When it the first time? I
don't
remember seeing them under the car for a prolonged period making repairs. So I don't really know when the heck they changed it that first time. But I'm a conspiracy guy. I don't think it broke. I think Chase pulled the caution. It didn't work. Larson still won, which I'm thankful for because our other options were what? Austin Dillon.
Well, at least he was still in a Chevy. Logano.
Who? Dillon?
Logano. Oh, man.
Yeah. The word Logano just makes me nauseous.
Well, you heard what he said to Matt when he in-car radio call.
What did he say? Why don't you tell everybody listening what he had to say?
Well, Matt Kenseth said, "Hey, buddy, I'm sure you didn't expect to hear from me, but this is Matt Kenseth calling you on the radio." And Joey Logano said, "What's up, prick?"
God, I about died when he called him a prick. Like, obviously, these drivers don't ever forget anything. But I'm here to tell you, if I was in Joey's shoes and the guy who intentionally wrecked me, who got suspended for a race, intentionally wrecking me,
For
came
waiting
over
for
my
his
radio.
butt. Yeah.
No, he Days of Thundered it all the way.
Oh,
It was
yeah.
one of the greatest NASCAR history for me. Like, from that day on, I was a Matt the Brat fan. I instantly Kenseth went to the top below Dale Jr. because I don't like Joey. But to see somebody do a Days of Thunder move in real life was awesome. I loved it.
Freaking epic, man.
So
And no one deserves it more than Joey.
So here's one. What's gonna happen these next 2 weeks when we have Danica filling in the broadcast booth? What happens when Ricky wins a stage? Does she come on the radio going, "Hey, honey, it's me. Remember this? You used to have it, but you don't no more. Congratulations on winning stage one."
Well, didn't Aaron Rodgers dump her? I mean, she's single again, isn't she?
Yeah, but Ricky's got a girlfriend now, so
Who do you think helped the other more when they were dating? Do you think Ricky helped Danica or Danica helped Ricky?
like helped as in
Driving.
Oh, okay. Make sure we're on the same page here.
I'm not talking meat sticks or taco bars here.
Taco bars. So I don't really know who helped who more because Danica probably wrecked more than Ricky. I guess in that sense, Ricky would have helped her, right? Helped her retire.
Yeah.
She quit. And then Ricky actually
He won a race.
I would have to look at my statisticals on this. I didn't pull. I feel like Ricky's driving got worse after the breakup than it was prior to the breakup.
Who's shorter, her or Ricky?
I don't know those.
Ricky had a better mullet because she was sporting a mullet too. Ricky had a better mullet.
I used to think she was good looking, but her personality just sucks. I know I might have just pissed off a lot of people, but I don't.
They did. I mean, but think about it. They threw her in a cup car way too soon, and I'm sure it was GoDaddy's fault because they gave,
and
GoDaddy sponsored. Yeah, but they sponsored her, and that's when she was driving for. Wasn't she driving for Junior Motorsports or Xfinity?
She started at Junior Motorsports. Never did anything there, and then she went and drove for Stuart Haas and never really did anything there.
Did she even have a top 10?
I don't know. I think she was on the pole for the Daytona 500, maybe.
Or was it that she was on the front row?
I'd have to go back and look. You know, back to what we were talking about with Elliott spinning out, that caused that late race caution. Basically, it was a green-white checker. I mean, it wasn't, but it might as well have been. But Larson ran off with it. Nobody had anything for him at the end of the race.
And I was kind of going for El Suarez there for a second after he pinned Chase against the wall. Suarez's car just didn't have it.
Does it surprise you to see Larson win, though?
No, I wasn't surprised. And they're going to have a little talk with both of them because if I was Chase, I'd do the same thing to him.
But you have the Mr. Milk and Cookies himself, Chad Knaus, so he can bring these two kids in because to Chad Canals, both of these guys are like kids to him. He'll just bring his
Probably
kids
children
into his
older.
office, fix them a little glass of milk and some cookies, and make them just like Mr. H did with him and Jimmy Johnson years ago. So
Yeah,
I
but
don't
who
see it
just
being
signed a 5-year contract? And who's on a year-to-year? Don't choke on your meat straw.
them statisticals, man. Well,
You,
Chase signed a 5-year deal with them, but I was reading a little thing Jeff Gluck put together, an interview he did with Chase, and Jeff asked him why he signed that 5-year deal. Chase is a loyal guy. Chase has been basically with Rick Hendricks since he was 15 years old. You know, Rick's with Junior Motorsports, put Chase in a car. So Chase wants to stay loyal, and Chase basically said if he's racing, he wants to race for Rick. But he also knows that Rick wants to win races. So he doesn't have to worry, in 2 years about that car or about the team going to crap. It's probably just not going to happen. So Chase has the faith in that team. That's why he signed such a long contract with them.
well, don't you think that Napa will follow Chase? I mean, they're a based auto parts company. Chase is a Georgia boy.
Oh, they might follow him. I don't. To be honest with you, they'd be crazy to do it, to leave Chase. I mean, they left. Was it Martin Truex Jr. had them
Yeah,
for a
after they
while?
had the
Was that it for
accidental
them?
wreck. Yeah, that was with who was that with? Michael
That,
Waltrip Racing.
yeah, but
MWR.
I'm trying to think of the timeline. I feel like they left Michael Waltrip Racing, went to Junior Motorsport, Elliott's car there, and then
Yeah,
just
when he was
moved
in
up with Chase.
Xfinity.
Yeah,
Yep.
I think that was the kind of the chain of events, and it just worked out for Napa. That all happening kind of gave them a chance to get in with
I
somebody
think they
new.
were appalled when was it Clint wrecked to make sure Truex would be in the chase?
Yeah.
Is that how it panned out?
Well, he didn't wreck intentionally. Remember, he had poison ivy on his arm, and
Oh
it
yeah, and he
started
had to
itching.
itch it. Yeah.
So when he was scratching, I think his hand hit the wheel, causing it to spin, something like that. It was legit though. I remember the in-car camera didn't show any of it happening, but it did happen. It was just when we weren't looking.
Yep, just as legit as the backup camera not working for Kyle Larson just yesterday. What's wrong with my rear view camera? Holy smokes. Oh, I didn't see him. Sorry.
Oops. Did you watch Cole Custer on Saturday whooping their butts?
Oh, jeez, he was tearing it up, man. Just tearing it up. And Joey was in the booth.
Yeah.
He didn't say the P word then.
I'm just not a fan of Joey, man. I don't like him in the booth. Even him and it just feels like even him and Blaney, like they have issues with each other. And I don't know that they do, but Blaney, just some of the things he says back, it's almost like he just wants to tell Joey just to.
And Joey just has that shit-eating grin on his face all the time that just makes you feel like even when he says something nice, he really doesn't mean it.
It's just that goofy laugh. Just I can't stand it, man. It drives me crazy when he does it. Which I'm sure Logano fans love it, and people who don't like Logano, like me, hate it. So it works, I guess.
Doesn't Truex own something from like 2, 3 years ago in Martinsville? When's he gonna get payback?
Oh, he'll get. Truex obviously won't forget. He'll wait till he's in the booth, and he'll come over Joey's radio in the middle of the race and try to distract him.
Well, I don't have anything against Truex, but that man has zero personality. And I must say, I thought the booth for yesterday's race for the Cup Series did a great job. You kind of have Clint, who's funny, and Matt, the straight man. I thought they did a great job. Also, and it might be they just got to pay for Daytona. The ads still kind of annoy me, but they seem to have better coverage of the race than they had for Daytona.
Yeah, I will agree. Their cameramen were actually showing the action on the track versus our camera shot of Kid Rock's Tootsie Bar, or whatever it was. I swear I saw so many in-car cameras from people running in the back yesterday. It was crazy. But the commercial breakdown seemed a little better. You know, I went in, you know me, I like to have my statisticals ready. So I went in and compared NBC at Michigan, because it's a 2-mile track, to Fontana as a 2-mile track, and traditional commercials versus side by side. On yesterday's Fox broadcast had 42 minutes of commercials out of 191 total minute broadcast. They had 8 minutes of side by side action. Well, they had 121 total commercials. At NBC Sports Nation last season at Michigan, they had 98 total commercials. Yesterday, Fox had 98 non-split screen and 23 split screen commercials versus non-split screen on NBC last season and 29 split screen total last season with NBC. So from what I've seen, NBC gives you more racing, less commercials, and when they do show commercials, they show you side-by-side action, where they only had 4 breaks yesterday that were side-by-side. I know for a fact 2 of those breaks that showed side-by-side action were under flipping caution. You're not going to miss nothing. The cars are driving around the flipping track at 55 miles an hour. Show a full-screen commercial there. Give during the race, not during caution.
Why not? Why not just present it to the advertisers as a picture-in-picture, as we've talked to ad nauseum? Oh, I said it right. Anyway, as fans, we're loyal to the people that support NASCAR, IMSA. Yeah,
I'm not going to buy
we're
your products.
loyal.
If you don't do a side-by-side commercial during the broadcast, I'm not buying your products, period. Because I'm not missing commercial or caution laps, apparently, but I'm missing racing when they don't show side-by-side. But, you know, here's the thing. In Fontana, the last 2 seasons, because the governor had the track closed off, but I went back and looked. 2019 raced at Fontana that Fox always has the beginning of the season, so Fox always gets Fontana. In 2019, the race 8 minutes broadcast. I'm thinking they did a shorter pre-race in 2019 versus yesterday. That's why the race was so much longer, the broadcast. But all the other statisticals from 2019 were almost identical to 2020 on Fox. So in 2019, they had 121 commercials. 2022, 121. They had 98 non-split screen and 23 split screen commercials yesterday and in 2019, exactly the same. So numbers were almost identical, except the race broadcast was shorter in 19 versus yesterday. So they must have a look. Says this is how many commercials we can have, no more, or no less. It might say too.
Well, Brad, I got some testicles for you.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, you can't enjoy them.
What you got?
So the race was had a 4.4 rating and 7.1 million viewers on
Yesterday,
Fox yesterday. Yep.
4.1 out of what? 5?
I don't know what that 4.1 is.
7 million views.
You know, I guess it's a percent rating.
But 7 million is not bad. That's actually a pretty good number.
Didn't they have 8 million for Daytona, but it shot up to 15 million the last 25 laps?
Something like that.
Something like that. Yeah.
7 million total is pretty good, in my opinion. I mean, I'd have had to compare it to something else, but from what I'm thinking.
No, I think it's pretty good. It's up 11% from the last televised race at Fontana. So maybe what the hell with the Clash? Maybe the Clash helped.
Maybe. Overall, I thought it was a really good race. I really enjoyed it. Cars are unpredictable as hell, but they race pretty good. I enjoy watching the drivers try to drive these cars, even when sometimes cars are not drivable.
Well, I like what Mark Martin said when he visited the booth yesterday. He said, he's a badass. I really like Mark Martin. But anyway, he said NASCAR cars should be the hardest cars to drive in the world, and the new car is making it happen. It shouldn't be easy.
And it's making it better. I think you're seeing good drivers struggle to control. You're seeing bad drivers step up. I mean, you look at the top 10 yesterday. I'm going to go down them real quick. You had Kyle Larson, Dillon, Eric Jones, Daniel Suarez, Joey Logano, Eric Amarillo, Kevin Harvick, Kurt Busch, Daniel Hemrick, and Stenhouse. Really, if I was being honest with you, Kevin Harvick, Joey Logano, Kyle Larson, that's the only 3 drivers who scream top 10 to me. No offense to anybody else on that list. And you have 10 drivers, the top 10. Out of the top 10, there's 9 different teams represented there.
No, that's evening the field, isn't it?
Stuart Haas is the only one to be doubled. So they had Eric and Kevin were the only 2 drivers that were with 32.
What about Kurt, man? I mean, Kurt. Top 10, and he had to do his penal pass-through, penalization. Is that what do they call it? Whatever.
I don't think that's what penal means.
I give up on more than 2-syllable words for the rest of this episode.
That's probably not a bad move.
Surprised I even got the word syllable out, and I'm completely sober.
Well, your penal is not going to work.
Penal statisticals.
Penal statisticals is
with taco truck. The taco truck celebration.
That's going to spin you out at the bar every time.
I'm not going to the taco truck anymore with my meat straw.
You definitely don't at the taco bar.
No, they might give you a washcloth to clean it up.
They don't do that everywhere, as we learned last week.
No, they don't.
So we're going to Vegas next, man. I'm excited. I enjoy Vegas. Vegas is probably my second favorite 1.5 track. So, like I said, it is a 1.5 mile track. The banking in the corners is about 20 degrees. They're running about 9 degrees on the front and the back straight. I think it's going to be a good race. Really, I'm looking forward to it, not for the race itself, but it's going to be the deciding factor on how well the 1.5 cookie cutter tracks that we race at so many times throughout the year. This is going to kind of give us a look at the rest of the season.
Now, Larson wasn't your first pick to win the race, but wasn't he your second?
Last year.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, he was. And you know who my dark horse last week was? Tyler Reddick. And he led
And
most of that dang race.
the Red Dick was on fire.
Well, going into Vegas, I was looking at the statisticals, trying to get ready to make my pick. And we've only got 4 active drivers who have won multiple races at Vegas. That being Brad Kay. He's raced 17 races there. Kevin Harvick has 2 wins, and he's raced a total of 25 races there. He's old. Truex has 2 wins. He's raced 20 races, and Logano has 2 wins with 17 races. So there's nowhere on that list did I say Larson, but we all know how well Larson ran at 1.5 mile last year, so it wouldn't shock me here. But
So who are your top 2 picks, and then who are your 2 dark horse picks?
well, I picked 2, but I'm gonna give you one of them, unless you got this one. Well, I'm gonna go first. So
Now you give all 4, because as I admitted, I cheated last time I looked at your list. So
okay,
you do your 4, and I'll do my 4.
So I'm gonna go my first. Ryan Blaney. He has an average finish of 8.8. He's got 5 top 5s and 8 top 10s and 1 pole. My second top pick is going to be Logano with an average finish of 8.6.
Yeah.
6 top 5s, 11 top 10s, 2 wins, 495 total laps led. Those are my main 2 picks. Both of them Penske cars, both of them Fords. My dark horse, I'm going to go back with old Red Dick again. I think Tyler likes that high side, but he's been running
Another
really
Ford.
solid. No,
Right.
Tyler's a Chevy.
Oh yeah, you're right.
But he's
I was
running
just
strong.
thinking most people with Red Dicks have Fords. Oh, I'm sorry. Let's keep it PG-13.
Then my other dark horse is going to be old Ricky Stenhouse. And that's just because Danica's in the booth, so I really want to see Ricky do well because I would love to hear her interview him mid-race.
Oh, and they could reunite and rekindle their love at the winner's circle.
I don't think that's going to happen, but I would like to see Ricky stage 2 leading, win stage 1, stage 2, get interviewed by Danica at the end of stage 2, and then wreck 5 laps into stage 3. Then we can blame Danica. Who do you got there?
Danica.
Who do you got, Danica?
All right. Well, I'm going to go. My number 1 pick is Chase Elliott. And I think what will happen is sometime in the last third of the race, he's going to wreck Kyle Larson. That's just my bonus. But Chase is going to win with a Chevy, man. I got Chase and Kurt Busch.
All right.
Dark horse. I'm going to say Old Man Harvick. He's going to pull out his AARP card. That's my dark horse.
Just one dark horse? You don't have 2?
No, I got a second one.
Uh-oh.
I think old Suarez has got a little momentum. And Pitbull's going to encourage him. And Kid Rock with his Tootsies.
Well, at least we'll be seeing that in-car Kid Rock and the Tootsies.
Yeah, I thought it was something totally different, to be honest with you.
You didn't realize.
I thought it had to.
That's why you were asking me last time.
I thought it had to do with Tootsie Rolls and crack cocaine.
Because of Kid Rock?
Yeah. But, I was any hotels you want to stay at there in Las Vegas?
Well, that's what I was about to say. Part of what we do for our listeners is give them an idea on where not to stay. The hotels I went with, the first one I picked was the Sunset Motel in Las Vegas. And Shea 98, 2 months, left a review, says, do not stay in room 20 because people always break into that room to take a shower because security cameras do not work out front. Be careful who your neighbors are. I'm not
Wow.
I'm
They
not going to
just
be
come
happy
in to
anyway.
shower?
Could you imagine being in there taking a crap and here walks homeless Willie coming through the door? Like, oh, I got to take a shower. I'd probably end up killing somebody. I'll just be honest.
They must have a nice shower room. 20 people are willing to get a break-in and entering charge to take a shower.
I didn't. Security in this part of Vegas doesn't sound very sharp because my second hotel I went with was the motel. And this is a verified hotel guest. It doesn't leave a name, but it's been verified by Priceline that legitimately stayed there. And I will quote what they said. Someone was stabbed 13 times and ran through and down the stairs, leaving blood everywhere. And then the hotel staff was rude and barely gave me half off for Then I was going
to let you walk through.
Well, 2 or 3 reviews later was talking about somebody got stabbed in the, and it was hard for them to get any sleep that night. So this dude stabbed 13 times, and all this guy's can get half off his room. Was he doing the stabbing? I mean,
maybe.
I've never thought about it. I think if I killed this guy walking down the hallway, maybe I can get half off my room. They won't even give me half off when people break in.
Maybe you want someone to read your review. I'll stab someone.
So I've got the Motel 8 and the Sunset. I'd try to stay away from there. If you're listening to this show and you're heading out to Vegas to catch the race this weekend, definitely in those two. But I'm sure yours are going to be even worse than mine. So,
I got one. It's the Aviation Inn, which, with a name like that, must be near the racetrack because every time I watch Las Vegas, I can see the airport in the background. So I've got. They didn't leave a name either. No, Heather. I'm sorry. Heather left this, and she calls out. She calls out everybody on this, but she says at the Aviation Inn, she was very grossed out by this place. There was garbage all over the outside. The security doors would not lock, which, that's scary when you hear that there's people getting stabbed at the hotel down the road. The pictures are clearly old because in reality, they look so run down. Then she says the room was okay until we found a used bloody condom in our ice bucket. Took the bucket to the front desk and they didn't even do anything for us. Which I would at least, got some tweezers and pulled the bloody condom out.
Yeah, a clean ice bucket. I mean.
Yeah, and they were, and, the guy was protecting his meat straw, it sounds like. So the place is a joke and don't stay there.
I wonder, did Heather leave it with the bloody condom on the counter at the front desk, or did she take it back to the room with her? I wonder. I mean, they didn't do anything, so at that point, I'm thinking if it was me, I'm probably throwing the bucket.
See, even when I stay at a decent hotel, I don't use the ice buckets. They skeeze me out because
you don't know what kind of condoms have been in it.
Yeah, if someone heats up their statisticals and they cool them off
in the ice bucket.
Yeah, but I'm a little OCD anyway. Well, actually, I'm a lot OCD, but
so you have surpassed a little OCD.
Yeah, in Daytona, that first hotel, I had I broke out in hives over at the nice hotel.
You were day.
Yeah, I couldn't handle it, man.
You look like Clint Boyer at Bristol, Richmond, wherever it was.
Yeah, that place gave me the poison ivy. EBGB. Oh my goodness.
Well, overall, it was a good race at in Fontana. Both pretty excited about Vegas. I want to thank everybody for listening. Thank everybody for the reviews, the subscribes, the like stuff, and that's all I got. Jamie, if you got anything else, we'll wrap it up.
We do have a website. I guess we should mention.
On our website.
One day we want to sell merch on it so that we can at least pay for a ticket here and there to go to a race or gas. It is racecarbackwards.com.
Yeah, eventually, everybody keep on the lookout. We're going to have some Happy Sack koozies and some meat straw T-shirts for you.
Yeah. And some statistical shirts. I don't know how the statisticals will look on there. Is it going to be a spreadsheet with data or data?
All right. Thanks, everybody, for listening. We'll catch you next week.
See you in Vegas, guys.
Enjoy. Thanks for listening to Race Car Spelled Backwards.